Alright, let's get this thing started. What up, what it do? You're not tuned to Couch Talk. We got the only Sasha J. It's your boy Sean Q. And today we have the host of The Couch. We have a life coach, Mr. Damion Harmon.
What's up?
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
I mess up people's names a lot, so I apologize.
You got it right, Sean. I appreciate that.
And Jacqueline Currie.
Yes.
Alright, how are you doing today, man?
I'm good, thank you. I see you toned it down for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Missed accepted friend request 2 days before the show started.
Well,
you got there.
I didn't even send it.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, man, I'm just playing. But how y'all doing this evening?
We good.
Well, this morning.
Good.
Afternoon. This is new for us.
This is very new for us. It's always nighttime.
Oh, really?
Late night time.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so we apologize for the tardiness.
That's all right.
Can you stop?
Nah, man,
On my show, I'm always keeping us on time. So that's why Damion laughing. So, okay. No problem.
So like you just, are you like that in your own relationship? You the timekeeper?
I don't think it's about relationship. I think it's about personality. And people. Oh yeah, it is. And people, if you know anything about, anxiety or people that have to be timely, there's some kind of anxiety there about being precise or being scheduled.
Right.
And I like schedules. I like to know what's going to happen. I don't necessarily like things out of order because it throws off, in my mind, what my whole schedule is.
Okay.
And adjusting I can do, but I just prefer to be timely.
Oh, that would not be me. Late for everything.
I mean, I don't want to give a time if I'm not going to be on time.
The running joke in my family, I'll be late for my own goddamn funeral. Excuse my language, because that's all I got.
And I'll have mine planned out 10 minutes.
Oh,
Wow.
my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. This,
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I said just put me in a box. I'm good.
I want to be turned into a tree, to be honest. You know they have like the burial pods
Oh,
where
yeah.
they bury you and turn you into a
Yeah.
tree and you
Sure.
grow. I'd rather my family visit something that's living and something they can still
Right.
take care of and nurture. As my burial instead of just a tombstone.
Okay.
My grandma actually agreed to it. She said I'll do it too. So.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
That's good.
I'm quite a
That's
bit more
good.
focused on my own service than I am what
Oh my
happens to
God.
my body afterwards.
Are
Really?
you serious?
Yeah, I had to write my obituary in grad school, and I have it in my room, and I think it holds me accountable,
Okay.
and it holds me
Goals.
accountable. Oh yeah, for
Goals
what I,
for them.
No, it's goes through life.
An
Yeah, like
obituary is what's read about
Yeah.
you
Right.
at your funeral or
reason.
memorial. Well, it holds you accountable because it's what you want people to remember about you.
Right, but I thought your family's supposed to remember whatever it is.
Well, it's like
Well, you get
well, it's kind of like you're doing like a self-reflection type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What it is
I'll
that
do
you
that.
like about yourself, and you kind of portray that, or you live in that thing or that person that you're actually writing about.
I thought the obituary was supposed to be a reflection of what people thought about you, period.
No.
Not yourself. That's kind of like, that's weird. It's
No,
like,
basically. Okay. I'm sorry.
it's like a moment of self-indulgence. Like, I'm going to make sure that they know this, and nothing else. Like, I think the people who know you best should write what they thought about you versus
Well,
you writing your own
but who knows
thing.
better
That's
than
weird.
Than yourself.
Yeah.
I understand that statement too, but the funeral is for the people who are left behind, not people.
And that's the problem. That's why I want to be turned into a tree because the funeral is
Right.
for the living.
Yeah, it is for the
this is
living.
my life. Like, I'm cool. Like, I don't really need that. But what she's saying with the obituary, basically, she set goals in her life. So when it's read about her, she said, I did this in
Right.
grad school. So it's basically, you know how we setting goals this year like crazy.
That's true.
So I can understand that. That's a life goal that she said,
Right.
like, when I'm gone, this is going to be complete.
Right.
My
Okay, so it's not to be
obituary.
published. For
No,
the
it's a
funeral.
vision board, honey.
Yeah.
It's a vision board.
Yeah,
so
that's
that's how
pretty
I
good.
look at it, right? So in my obituary, I said over 12 years ago, what was it, about 11 years ago, I said, people remember Jackie this way. They remember that she was humorous even though things were difficult. They remembered, that is me. That is what people know about me now. I just
Right.
want to be consistent throughout my life. I like that about me. So that's what I wrote down.
Too far ahead for me. I can't keep up.
So,
All right.
so you want to be consistent throughout your life?
Well, I
So-
want to have growth, so I want to
Okay.
consistently grow. So
Okay.
before you try to catch
Oh,
me up with
Good
that.
point. You about to make a point? 'Cause I got something to ask you
No,
about
go
that.
ahead.
Okay, so with continually growing with yourself, did joining the couch do that for you? Because I understand it was him that started the couch, and you came in on the fold. And
Well, did you start it without me?
that's
Or
what
did you
Yeah.
conceptualize
that's
it?
what the website says. I don't know.
Holy shit.
So,
Ah!
I'm the creator, so I created
he
the idea.
conceptualized. It was his idea, so that is fair. I just want to use the right words because he wasn't going without me. We started together.
Okay.
Started.
I wasn't by myself.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
The first episode we were together.
Right.
Okay, so that's
Right.
I was a little different.
Same with
Okay.
I had a show. Then she came and did the show with me. And then after the show, we really talked. Like, yo, we clicked. We had a good vibe on camera. What do you think about doing the show together?
Okay.
So that's how our conception happened.
Well, we had our vibe in real life because we worked together. But Damion, I'll let you tell why you invited me to do the couch because I haven't heard this story.
The crazy thing is,
I just made assumptions.
Like, I really thought about the show maybe like a year ago. Just because I'm just a huge advocate for mental health, so I thought what a better way to put it out there on social media weekly, make it like a therapy session. So when I was thinking about it, I was like, I really can't do it by myself. And the only reason why I said that was because my personality sometimes, if you can't tell already, like I'm really laid back, chill. And I was like, and I'm a Libra, so I like to have balance. So I'm the laid back one. I was like, who is like hyper energy?
Jesus, that was the first word you thought of.
Lively, bubbly type of person that's a female that I'm pretty cool with. So I thought about a few people, and then really the second person that I asked was Jacqueline. The first one was a guy.
I'm
And
glad
I
you
was
didn't
like,
do that.
nah, it'll be too like masculine. I want that balance. So she was a colleague. I love the way she talked. She was already high energy, like 8 o'clock in the morning. Just she's
Ready
just
to go.
ready to go. So I'm like, who is this woman? And we worked together for a while before I actually started talking to her. And then once we started talking, it was like, yo, like I got this idea. I think you'll do well with it. And then boom, we made it happen.
Okay.
Good job, Damion. That sounds excellent. I am flattered.
Did that tickle your fancy? Was that
I mean, that was the right thing to
first
say,
time
but
you
Damion knows what to say to get me going. But I mean, the way I perceived it, somewhat the same way. When you know yourself well enough at a certain age, in your 30s, you should know yourself well enough.
Right.
And so I knew when he asked me why he asked me. I mean, we had fun together, we laughed. In the brief encounters we had, every time it was always a positive ending to the encounter.
Right.
And so if we could talk about work briefly and end it on a laugh when it's stressful and other things like that, when he asked me, what did I say?
Yeah, no doubt.
I said, yeah, right away. I didn't have to think about it.
No.
I didn't ask him the platform of the show.
No.
I was like, when are we doing this? When are we starting?
Did I think about it? I think I did.
I got a sleek mouth. So,
I was gonna say.
that's all. But speaking of the work, let's talk about what you actually do. Because I know I keep saying therapy and therapist. I know that's not what you sent me as far as your actual job title.
Yeah.
So what would I call you if I'm looking you up in the
Therapist, licensed professional
He's a
counselor.
licensed professional counselor and also a life coach.
What are you?
I'm a licensed professional counselor.
She
Look,
said
let me tell you
it like
something
a
about
really
me.
dry, right?
I love it.
When I get what I need to get where I'm trying to go, and that's enough, that's just enough. I don't need to be an LPC and then a life coach and then get other certifications.
Yeah.
Now, I have friends with multiple certifications on top of being licensed therapists. That is good for them. I applaud them. I'm going to cheer them on. But when I'm done, I'm done. When I was done with grad school, my mom's like, what about your PhD? And I'm like, nah, I'm done. The master's, I'm done. But I'm glad for you. I told you that.
What's crazy is, like, people look at it, like, once I've got my master's, it was like, okay, cool, this dude from Orangeburg, really small town, don't really do a whole lot out there. So when I actually got my license, and then years passed, and I was like, okay, well, what's next? I thought the next was going to get my PhD.
Okay.
So enrolled in school, I'm like halfway into my PhD program. And I was like, really, what's the point? For me. No.
And that's a misconception.
It's just a couple of letters at the end of your name. It doesn't
Also, a higher degree don't mean more money.
It can also box you in.
Yeah.
It can also box
In
you
this
in, and that's why I didn't
particular
go
field,
for it. I didn't go for it. Then you're too qualified to do certain things if you want more of a laid-back approach, right?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about what we do now.
Right.
That's interesting. I always thought my wrestling coach, he left me high and dry. I'm gonna talk to you about that too, Coach Currie. Just to go pursue a higher degree. Just to go pursue a higher degree of education. And I always thought he did it for more money. Provide for his family and stuff. And now it's just saying it's weird.
It's just really for the knowledge and for the prestige that comes along with
That's
it.
right.
But for me, I don't really need.
What?
I don't really need it in that
You can be
particular
self-taught.
fashion.
Self-taught
Yeah.
can take you
No.
to higher levels than education sometimes. I'm just saying.
I have a difference of
Yeah.
opinion.
She
with,
just said it will box
well,
you in.
it can box you in, but I have your motive, depending on your motive, okay?
Right.
So when I was getting my master's, I was already at a point where I didn't want to go to more school. I felt forced. My mom's like, look, you can't come home on the drive back from my bachelor's ceremony to Chicago from Greensboro. My mom's like, what are you going to do now? I'm like, I just got my bachelor's. I don't want to don't push me. I mean, all that.
Right.
My mom's like, you got to work or go to school. I didn't even know where I wanted to apply. My girlfriend told me, hey, I applied to this school, this master's program. I didn't have to take a GRE. Hey, I didn't want to take another test. Fine, I'll apply. I applied. I got in. I started grad school 2 months later. I was flying by the seat of my pants, just knowing that I wanted more, but not really conceptualizing what I wanted, right? So once I got my master's degree, I realized I have to have a license to come behind this in order to mean anything in mental health. I always knew I wanted to do mental health. Now, without the license, it's nothing, right? It's almost like you're just above minimum wage, right? So I'm just saying. So once you know what you're really trying to achieve, that's where I believe you should start looking at your education. What kind of education? Our kids are not doing that, right? They're not looking at high school and then going to college they're not all doing that, okay?
And I can see why, because technology has put it to the point where they don't have to. Where kids are becoming millionaires all off social media. So like that whole college, putting myself in debt, going backwards just to get forwards, and by the time I'm 65, I'm finally ahead of life. Like these kids these days are blowing straight past that. I can respect it, but it's also a fear because you're putting all your eggs in one basket of trying to make it here, and you're not getting that background in education just to fall back on.
I think it can turn out that way, and depending on your personality type and who you are and what you want for yourself, it can turn out different. I have the grad school debt, like a lot of my friends, and I'm still paying off or whatnot. However, my life is coming so full circle right now for me following my passion, which I've always been taught to do, but never seen the fruition of that, never seen the proof of it, what happens when you do that. But now I see what happens when we do it. And so I'm very happy with my life right now, even with the debt.
Even with
even with the debt.
I mean, it's not for everybody. I hate to, kind of put that barrier on education. Like, no, don't do it. I'm not telling you not to, but it's not for everybody. If it's not for you, do not put yourself in debt. It's kind of a sad story to be there in this world that we live in today. I'm just going to throw that out there. Trump is our president, Anyways, past all that, you guys work in mental health, right? So with that being said, do you find yourself trying to counsel your friends or anything like that? Do you find yourself in a place where you kind of have to take on the strains of other people? Yeah, I have to. I want to ask questions.
Wait a minute.
I think.
Wait, can you have her define cancel first? It can mean a lot of different things. Cut them off completely?
No.
Okay, that's why I'm asking.
Oh, he said counsel. Counsel.
Counsel. I thought you said cancel your friend. I'm like, well, I don't just
I'm
about my life. But,
okay,
I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
Sad.
Like, I don't want to misspeak.
So I think that kind of propelled me into the field, really, because I guess I just had that type of personality where you just feel safe, to be yourself and just kind of speak your truth, whatever that is, and me provide that feedback with no criticism, no judgment, none of that. We can still be cool, and I know all your business, and it's all good with me, because everybody has.
Keep your secret, y'all.
Everybody has something, you know what I'm saying? So over time, that just was just a part of me. So it's like, hey, it works in this particular field too. So hey, I'm good.
Well, I don't seek to counsel my friends. I seek to always be a good friend. So I never think of it like that. But I do have certain friends. You got your core group, as we talked on our show, the Fab Five at least. Keep it to a Fab Five.
Right.
And so I've got my Fab Five group of friends who do call me when they're in extremely distressful situations. And even though I deal with my own, they know I'm going to have a non-biased response. Because it is based on my training as a therapist. But I am not conducting therapy. I am giving them the ins and outs of both sides and telling them to do what's best for them. And to stop seeking someone's approval. I'm just like, if it feels good, do it until it doesn't, and then you don't do it.
So, okay, that word is cool for a friendship. More so in a relationship status when I have to be with you all day, every day, come home to you. Do you find
yourself? Me all day, every day.
I mean, we're in a relationship, not all day, every day.
Say,
we gotta work. We gotta work. Okay, we gotta work.
Okay.
But when you're in a situation where love is involved, do you use your self skills to find out what you want?
Well, my skills never go away, and for somebody to tell you in any area of their life, your wife's car break down and you got mechanical skills, you can get your ass out there and you gonna work on her car. So I think that's still with the stigma of mental health and the negative stigma. I use everything I have. We use it in our conversations. If I'm having a bad day and I'm like, look, I'm not people proof right now. That's my thing, and that lets him know off bat I've had a rough time, and then I say I'm not people proof. I can't be talking right now, and so Damion He won't try to push me, but he'll say, are you sure you don't want to talk about it? Right. Now, that is therapist training right there, the listening, okay? And then if he has feedback, and he'll say, okay, well, this is what I believe, but it's not advice giving. It's just, this is what I gather from what you say. It sounds like you're upset because of this. And so that's where our training comes into play. But in my relationships, the only thing that I use that I think is very necessary is my communication skills. Listening, reflection, and communication.
Yeah, and for me, I think it's communication definitely, but also in becoming a therapist. Well, prior to, I wasn't really like outgoing as far as and open with my feelings and vulnerable with my feelings. So going through this process and being in this profession, you often have that opportunity, and sometimes you have to do that in order to develop that relationship.
So is it an outlet for you? Is it like an escape? Because that can be considered like a drug.
Is therapy for me an escape?
You mean giving therapy?
Yeah, because he said he's not really open in his personal life.
No, what I was saying prior to
enhanced his communication capabilities.
Right.
So
prior
in tune with his feelings.
therapist.
And still, the question is still the same. Like, you doing therapy for other people could be euphoric for you, in a sense, because you weren't that open with people when you were growing up.
Right. It provides me sometimes an outlet for self-disclosure. It provides me an opportunity to kind of connect with that person on that emotional level, because just in general, I'm an empath, so I kind of feel and want to, be in your shoes. How would I feel if that happened to me?
Same, but that's why I set myself apart from other people.
I was an angry child, so I had to resort to combat sports and shit. So I boxed to release my anger and shit.
Right.
That's why I asked the question, because I was correlating with my own personal growing, because I did have a lot of temper tantrums and running around and shit.
Right.
So I started to box just to release that anger. So it was at the same.
That's interesting. I was more of I wasn't as expressive, but I was considered emotional. In black families, like, she's so emotional, just leave her alone. She's dramatic, all that. No, there's a problem with that. There's a problem with that, though, okay? Because then you create insecurities in children, and then they feel like they can't express themselves. And I'm not going to start naming people, because to their understanding, they were doing the best they could to rear me. And I loved all my family and everybody who was around me, helping me in those ways. But it was damning to me as a kid, and damaging in some ways. I started thinking, I don't want to be called dramatic. I don't want to be called emotional. So now I'm going to keep it all to myself. And so you got to be careful, just like we were talking in our show about, we're telling the black kids, hey, that family stuff is family stuff. You don't talk about this outside the house. It's the same type of muting. I felt like I was muted in many situations. Just sit there and be quiet and don't express this and stop crying. I mean, when you're telling kids all the time how to curb their emotions, all we're understanding is don't do it.
Yeah.
Well, that just goes from a deeper rooted problem, which is the fact that when you're growing, your parents and whoever is around you are growing too. They don't know any better, just like you don't know any better. And I think that's the problem with us. We always hold the adults to a higher standard when they're literally at the same level as we are. We're just going with the flow. Whatever they teach us, and it's our job as we grow older to kind of erase some of the stuff they taught or erase some of the stuff they said, and kind of go back and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Right. So despite the fact they called you dramatic and all this other stuff, it's your job as an adult to say, I'm going to cry, I'm going to be mad, I'm going to be upset, I'm going to raise hell, and if you don't like it, get the fuck out.
The difference now is that when my friends say it, I say, oh, okay. I'll be that, but I'm shining in my own light where I am. So that doesn't take away, at this age.
How important is mental health to you, and what's explaining it to me?
All right, I did a podcast last week, but basically the point is they asked a question, similar to the one you asked, but not the same. And I'm just going to give the answer that I gave them, which is we need to understand that everybody has mental health. Everybody has it. On your good days, you have good mental health. On your rough days, your mental health is struggling a little bit, okay? There's something tampering with your mental health. If we would start to adopt this as a universal language and thought of how to think of mental health, period, we wouldn't have to ask these type of questions, how important it is. Right. It's important because it's part of you and your life and everyone around you. So I think it's important to be in tune with the people around you, know them well enough to want to tap into it, right? To ask them how their mental health is today. That really, we do say that, but we say, how are you? I mean, you're really saying, how's your mental health?
Yeah.
Okay? So if we look at it like that, we all have mental health issues.
Just like when you're having some issues with your vagina or with your penis, you go to the doctor. Right? So if you're not feeling well that day in the head and the mind, why not go and
you know that emoji with the hand snap?
I had
that
to do
it.
I didn't know it this time. I didn't know it this time. I use terminology.
Okay, so
I did. Thank you.
To each his own. Yeah, that's the general concept.
So
that everyone has it. Yeah, she's backing up my
point. Oh God. Okay, the next question. Can we move on?
Yeah, sure.
You finished your thought?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Do you think that in our families, us disregarding mental health, is it really an issue? Like, does it damage our upbringing? Does it damage who we are when we become whole or become our adult selves? Like, disregarding who we are mentally while we're growing up. So a lot of families do it, like, especially in the Black family. It's a real thing.
It's just crazy.
I don't think it's the word damage is so heavy. I won't use the word damage, but it heavily taints. I'm being real. It heavily taints the potential, right?
I want to use damage though before you say.
I don't want to use damage.
I want to use damage because
it's so.
No disrespect to our queens, but we have a lot of multi-father house homes, pretty much. Like she got a bunch of baby daddy. That's damaging because not knowing your lineage, not knowing where you come from, sometimes is basically the same thing that the whites did to us when they erased our history from us when they came. They damaged us as a people. And growing up in that same environment, not knowing, hey, my daddy was right there. This is his people. This is why his hair is this way. This is why he has this anger. Not knowing that about yourself can be damaging in the long run because you can be reacting to something that you don't know why you're doing.
Okay, well, let me back up my statement because I have my own idea behind saying that I don't want to say damage. Damage more often than not carries such a connotation that's so heavy that it makes people think it can't be fixed or you can't come back from it. I'm a very strong believer and I'm very strongly affected by some things that happen. Just like I said, with feeling like I was muted a lot of the times in any environment, whether that's school, home, wherever. Personally, that's just my perception, which I own, and you own yours, right? Like with anything. Right. But I believe that when we become a certain age and you start developing your own thought process, you need to start being responsible and accountable for how you live your life as an adult and not blaming your 12-year-old self for what you're doing at 48 years old to defy the law and the boundaries of society. So that's all I mean by that. But in the respect of your general question, I believe that what we teach our kids in the home as far as, hey, what happens here stays here, or you need to stop crying, or you need to, all that affects who you become as an adult because those are principles you've adopted because of what you've been taught. How often have you met someone or started dating a girl or a dude and they're just like, oh, that's just the way I grew up. Okay, I got you. When are you going to stop saying that?
But
when are you going to start owning
habit, though? If we are creatures of habit,
you can stop the habit.
What you do and that leads to the main.
Yeah, you can make changes.
The sex addiction. If you're a creature of habit, if you grew up having sex all the time with multiple women, when you get older, you won't think that's just what you're supposed to do, regardless of what society thinks. If you grew up picking your nose all the time, you're gonna think, hey, I should pick my nose because that's what I want to do, not what society thinks. It's a disgusting thing to do, but it's still something that you do because it's a habit.
I believe in individuals' power of mind to control what they do. I bit my nails for 20-something years. When I got to a point where I said, I don't like the way my nails look, I stopped biting them.
But you still like how sex feels.
Wait, what are we talking about?
I'm just saying, we're talking about addiction.
Yeah, I was talking about...
Yeah, because you didn't like how your nails look because
it was a compulsion. Well, it was a... See, the thing that I'd like to start... So if you're going to go from, mental health and childhood... See, we just segued into sex addiction and I wasn't prepared. So, okay, so if you get into any kind of addiction, it's about the compulsion. It doesn't matter what words you put in front of it, okay? Food addiction, okay? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And so then sex addiction, all you do is substitute words. So the focus to me in my mind isn't necessarily about sex when you're talking about sex addiction.
Right.
It's a compulsion. It's something that you've got to constantly have. So
And
it's not just about, you understand what I'm saying?
The thing is, like, we characterize sex addiction. It's really not a diagnosis for it as far as mental health and what we utilize.
No,
It's not a diagnosis. It's a characterization of a particular behavior.
Which is an addiction. You understand
You
what
see what I'm
saying?
saying? So
crazy.
addiction in itself, it could be sex, it could be gambling, it could be, whatever. You watching porn, all of those things are kind of just an addiction, and it's something beneath that's kind of like...
That's driving the behaviors, and we believe that can change.
I bring that up because, you say it's a compulsive, it's an addiction, but so is an opioid is an addiction now. Opioid crisis there's addiction based. They're treating it as a mental health issue when it's like you're just addicted to a drug. Because you said it's like cigarettes. It's a habit. It's a compulsive thing. I need something in my mouth.
But
instead of
sending those people to prison or jail, they're treating them with mental health.
Right.
So are these people that are committing all these mental health, all these sexual abuse crimes, are they crazy? Are they mentally damaged? Or are they just nasty people? Sorry. Are they just nasty people? Like, and they come out.
It's okay.
Like if you're talking about, let's say, like R. Kelly.
That was a stat question.
Like R. Kelly. So
it
it truly just depends on how that addiction is developed. R. Kelly, he was traumatized as a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He was sexually abusive. And most times, often than not, those people, you're either going to be either hypersexual, when you experience some type of trauma, or just or the total opposite, where you just become a shell.
Okay.
And,
So in that case, do you think that R. Kelly is okay with how he's, living his life right now? When I say that, I'm not talking about the girls. Of course, we're not talking about that. But is he okay to stay out of jail? Is he okay to not be charged?
To be a member of society.
To be a member of society because he is mentally ill. You just said that he's mentally ill. I said that too. So don't look at me like I'm trying to get you to say something.
No.
I said he's mentally ill, and his parents and family covered it up by saying he's a great singer. Let's let him go make money. No, but you gave this mentally ill person the segue to make tons of money and also have the ability to interact with all these different young ladies because that was his choice. He didn't choose men; he chose women.
Right.
Totally fine. But the fact of the matter is that his family covered it up. They let it be okay. He's fine. He's normal. He's not. He's mentally ill, right? Do you agree with me when I say that?
Mentally ill.
I think it's good that we both have an issue with that. I have an issue with that for some reason. I wouldn't say he's mentally ill. I see there's some serious damn problems. There's some serious problems. But let me give my response and then you give yours, okay? I just have in my mind the idea of how I want to answer that.
Okay.
When anybody brings up what he's doing and what do you think about this mental health wise, I tend to say the same thing. Look, just because I'm licensed and I see some things on Lifetime and I know some things that we both know from my personal experience.
Right.
Okay, because I went to Kenwood Academy High School. He was outside my damn school soliciting girls. So I got my own thoughts about that. However, I am not equipped enough with my knowledge. Like, I'm not assessing him clinically. I don't have enough background knowledge, honestly. And basing what I see off Lifetime, that's not enough for me to feel confident as a clinician to be speaking out, especially now since we've got, like, our little public platform. I don't feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I don't like to speak arrogantly or ignorantly.
Okay.
I want to know more things before I just start labeling.
Yes.
Is there a serious problem? Yes. Are more younger girls probably at risk with him being out of jail? Yeah. At risk to be manipulated and whatever else.
Right.
Now, emotional abuse and that kind of pulling is one thing, and physical is another, but all of it is some form of what? Domestic abuse. Like whether you were saying fear of leaving, whatever. I haven't sat down with these people. I don't know exactly what's happening. I would just say it's a major issue for me.
If you put it on a scale, lean more towards criminal or mentally ill?
What are we gonna do? Where are we going?
I would say criminal.
You would say criminal?
Yeah.
Even though
I would say criminal
even though you said
because
he was abused as a child.
Yeah, but that doesn't make him mentally ill now, though.
That doesn't give you...
It's evidence.
But that...
Well...
That goes to say...
If you were doing the diagnosis, you would take that into consideration.
I would say it's more of a legal issue.
Yeah, I think when it becomes repetitive, you already know, you understand.
But when
morality wise,
wait, this is the vital. So go ahead, finish because they need to hear it. Yes,
go ahead.
I think
just from an ethical standpoint, just knowing right and wrong, and you know what I'm saying. That part of his brain isn't gone.
I agree with that. I agree with that part.
You understand what I'm saying?
Wholeheartedly.
So to say it'll be a mental issue, nah.
And so what solidified that for me was that little video clip where he was recently, right, where somebody caught him. Yeah, somebody caught him on camera, not with a girl. He was with his team. And he was like, they didn't get me quick enough. They should have been on this years ago. All that. That's on YouTube. So listen. I fully support what you are saying. And to me, that just put the nail in the damn coffin. Okay, there you go. That's all we needed. That doesn't mean he's mentally ill. Even though people want to sit on their own little personal Facebook couches and not be licensed to talk about, he's so ill, he bipolar, he crazy.
Right.
Like, no, crazy doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. I'm just saying, that's why I say more.
That's his name?
Yeah,
Jeffrey Dahmer. Mentally ill or criminal. Mass murderer, you know.
I can see both.
Taking heads off.
I can see both. I mean, but
that's why I agree with the repetitive means of it.
That's a whole lot of.
That's way more.
You have to.
That's like
what?
They weren't underage, so I would say
they were damn near underage. You recruited them underage, and you didn't let them move into the house. They were
under 18
that's
years old.
That's still young.
Well, then that's a legal issue.
I don't fool with that.
When you define right or wrong,
a preference and an orientation, and that's what they're really trying to do with this agenda. Really, when you think about it, just like they had homosexuality in the DSM.
Have you read my notes?
Right.
No.
No.
But they did.
1987 is when they took it out.
Just like they took narcissistic disorder out.
Okay.
So now they're trying to get to the point. They're trying to get
narcissism is not a disorder.
Pedophilia
in
it to make it a mental health
and that's
issue.
what's scary. We just talked about this.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so they're trying to take the legality part out of it. If you mess with this little kid, you go to jail. So now the people that are in the forefront in regards to pedophilia, the people that just promote and advocate for it, they're trying to advocate it to become an actual diagnosis, so they don't have to face legal issues.
Because they're making laws off feelings, and that's what I told Sasha and Clark. That's what I feel like the LGBTQ and the trans community has done with a lot of the moves that they've made. They're making laws off feelings, and it's scary because now they're putting this pedophilia thing to the front where I feel that I should be able to have sex with children, or I feel that
I broke it down. I broke it down in the sense I said that maybe the people, so the guys who feel like they're women, they're allowed to go to the women's bathroom, or the ladies who feel like they're men, they're allowed to go to the men's bathroom. And he introduced the fact that
North Carolina was so against it.
They were not.
They shut that down.
But so they introduced the law that was, gave them the option to go in either bathrooms, but also gave the option to pedophiles to introduce themselves into different restrooms and also have the little children vulnerable and available in the restroom, right? So Sean was like, they created that law based off of people feeling like they're this or they're that, but they're actually.
It's funny. I don't give a damn what the law is. My son, when me and him go out alone, he does not go into the male bathroom.
We go to the bathroom.
Send him in there. He's 10 years old.
You are a girl today.
I never do it. You with mama. Chicks in here. I don't know what's happening in there, and I will not relinquish him to society's judgment about what they want to do and what they don't want to do when I'm not around.
Just to throw that out there, we just went to Marvel Universe Live, the premiere night on Friday. And
you paid for the tickets, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I was against it. Okay. You watch it on fire.
They weren't that bad. Vivid seats, I paid $37. Just a little shout out to them. $37 per person. It was 3 of us, $144.
No, good for you.
But we went. We had a great time. But when it was time to go to the restroom, when it was trying to go to the restroom, they were like, okay, we're going to the men's restroom.
Absolutely.
I said, first of all, you never go to the goddamn men's restroom when you're with me anyway. What are you talking about? No, you're not. You're going in here with me. So once again, I have 6-year-olds, but they look like they're 10. They're pretty tall,
That's
know. And we walked in there, and the girls just looking at them. And they're like, Mommy, why are we in here? Because I'm in here. So we all in here together. And I don't care about what they talking about or what they're looking at. They have nothing to do with me. We all go in this bathroom together. Have a good time. Use the body. Come in, come out. Don't touch shit. Let's wash your hands.
As long as I feel you too small to grab somebody by their throat if they try to grab you, then you going with me.
Right. So you 10, 15, you coming with me.
Yep.
Well, mine's kind
I'm
of
not
big,
the only one.
so they'll be big enough to
Hey,
grab up.
I be shoving my son past the little girls. I'm like, go on, baby, go on. In there. I don't know what y'all looking at. Ain't my problem. Ain't my damn problem.
Before we get too much, we almost about to wrap this thing up. I want them to be able to find you guys. So where can they find all your handles and everything?
Everything to Couch 704 on Facebook, Couch 704 Instagram. Couch 704, 704, the Couch 704.com.
What's your personal Instagram?
So the website is
www.thecouch704.com.
Yes.
And we're on YouTube. Just type in the Couch 704.
Yes.
But you can also get to our YouTube channel through the website.
Through the website. Everything is through the website.
And you can find us both on Psychology Today.
Yes.
So he'll be
if you're
Damion
looking for
Harmon.
services.
Yep,
Yes.
if you're looking for therapy services. And I'm Jacqueline Currie on Psychology
So
Today.
you do provide independent
Individual therapy services.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you need to get checked out,
Yeah,
your mental
absolutely.
anyway.
Why
your
y'all
mental.
talk to me about my sex addiction?
Oh my
I'm gonna leave that one.
Well, we will give a referral
Yeah.
because
I can refer you out.
yes, I can refer you out.
I'm comfortable talking to
No,
y'all.
because because of the situation and circumstances on which we've met and such things,
Yeah,
I wouldn't feel
conflict of
comfortable
interest.
ethically. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Damion.
They don't throw the
No,
ball.
really.
Yeah, see how they did it? Smooth with it. This is the
But-
problem with
but-
the black community, and I'm gonna take it there.
We just said we'd give you a
We're
referral.
gonna refer you to somebody
We are
Black.
helping you.
that's black.
Okay, well
Yes.
listen, but this is the thing. You have to feel comfortable with who you talk to.
Absolutely.
And I feel
think that's
comfortable talking to you guys.
that's
I
how
like talking to you because you challenge
Because I'm
me.
direct.
Yeah, you challenge me in a debate, and I really like having
Did I
one-on-one.
challenge you?
No, I can tell you that you can. We didn't really go back and
Speaking
forth
of
about
which,
anything.
Before you go in on her, where
I'm
are you
not
from?
going there.
Where you from?
I'm from Chicago.
Chicago. I can hear it. It comes in and out.
Remember I said R. Kelly was outside my high school?
Yeah. It get a little hood, then it come back.
You know,
and then it go a little
ooh,
country.
Lord,
then it
air
come
out
back.
my laundry.
Then
Yeah.
It just,
So the people closest to me is like, you go up and down.
yeah, you do.
Up and down,
It's a lot of
Actually, my
elements.
accent even changes.
It does. You get a little country too. So
Okay.
you have some country.
Okay,
Some
I grew up on the
Chicago,
south side of
some-
Chicago. However, I was in private school until I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
Then I was pulled out of private school,
Mhm.
all right, and then pushed into public school, where I went to
Okay.
Kenwood. And so I feel like there's a balance there.
I can hear it.
I believe I pull when necessary from each place,
Mhm.
and it's not intentional. But fortunately for me, I just feel well-rounded,
That's
and then I can survive in different type of atmospheres
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
have different kind of conversations.
And not only that, the bass in your voice.
You're
is
strong.
Okay, I like my bass.
Are you
No,
strong?
I don't mind your bass.
Dominant.
I used to when I was younger, though.
Really?
Yeah, I had a
I have
problem
to
with it.
bring it up. The bass is nice, and it
Okay.
kind of makes
Did Beyonce
everything
help
you
you
say
out with that?
stick.
Look how Damion looking.
Did Beyonce help you with that?
Right, Beyonce.
No, she doesn't help me with too much.
No.
No.
You could probably do a Beyonce
That's
impersonation.
a hard
Have you
take
ever
right
done
there. You might lose some fans over
no,
that.
but I used to do improv.
Oh, really?
I used to do improv comedy.
I'm pretty sure if you tried to impersonate Beyonce, you got it.
Okay, well listen, we're going to have to talk on
It's
the
nice.
platform that you're not going to share, so we can get you to open up. a little.
Right.
I am open, Damion. Am I open?
You're open but conservative.
You
And
see
I
how
can
she do
respect
that?
it.
But
You
why-
see how she do that?
but
Every
why do
time
I
she
have
comes,
to
she pull it
change-
in and makes that
Why do I have to
noise.
change
Message.
my behavior
Come on
to
in, brother.
appease individuals? I like it.
You like the way you are.
I love
Nah.
it. If you like it, I love
Oh,
it.
I absolutely love it, actually.
So tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, on Instagram, it's Jackie, JACKEECURR. That's Instagram. Yours?
Damion Dash is spelled DAMION. That's my government. But on my Instagram and IG, it's Dame. What? Yeah. On Instagram and Facebook, it's EON, not ION.
The hand slap.
That's what I was saying.
Good.
Well, on Facebook and IG, I'm Damion, and it's spelled DAMEON _dash on IG. And on Facebook, it says Damion Dash.
That's scary, brother.
How's that?
Fake name and shit
Right.
out there.
This one-
I got the
Shit.
nickname Dash. They
Dash.
just call me Dash, so I
Call
couldn't
you Dash.
put
Why the
Dame Dash
misspell the misspelling of your
because
Go ahead.
they either call me Dash or they'll call me Dame, and that's
Mhm.
Speakers.
DAME. And that's DAME. So
Okay.
some people call me Dame, some people call me Dash, and I was trying to put it together.
I'm not going to get my Facebook because that's more of my government name.
name? I put it on the flyer.
Okay. So my Facebook name is Jacqueline, JACQUELINE F.CURRIE.
Okay.
That's
The only thing I won't give out is the social.
Let me see, F, what the F stand for?
Francis.
Oh.
Jacqueline Francis.
Oh,
Shit,
Francis.
I should have said it on camera.
Oh, yeah, you gonna do it now.
Well, I got some friends from college. No, I don't need to lie about it. I love my damn name. Like a woman of the cabinet. Political name. I could be a political wife. Jacqueline Francis Currie.
Jacqueline Francis.
It's totally acceptable.
That's definitely Michelle Obama.
Well, my mother told me she gave us all basic known names on purpose. There's a Jacqueline, Christopher, Michael, Nicole. That's all our names.
Oh,
My
wow.
name's Sean Clavius. That's why that's a problem.
I got
You
mine
can be
because
anything you want on a resume.
My mom said that was the devil
Nah,
when she was pregnant with me, so that's why she called me Damion.
Oh my God.
I gave her like a lot of problems when she was pregnant.
But you grew up in the church.
You're the devil for real.
Oh. She didn't believe in speaking your name into existence.
Why y'all logo black and red? Huh?
We like to use black and red, don't we, too, Sean?
We do know, but he
It's a PJ. We don't get down with the devil, so don't start to push that stuff on us. Why did you choose those colors?
Because I like red.
named Damion.
That's why
Black.
my favorite color is red. Is that your favorite color?
My favorite color. I'm not a blood or anything. I just like red.
It looks all right on you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're going to do our outro?
Okay, go ahead.
So, you can follow Couch Talk on Facebook. Our group goes by the name of Couch Talk, one word, podcast, 2 words. All right? You can follow me on Instagram at TheOnlySashaJ. And you can also follow my new page, Sasha Sexy Stories, which will be dropping for you on February 14th. Of course, Valentine's Day. I'll be all dressed up in red or black or pink or something sexy. And you'll be able to hear amazing stories by yours truly, or actually from our followers. And I'll be reading them back to you in my sexiest voice. You can follow that on Instagram at Sasha's_XS.
Now listen, you know you can always find me at Sean Q Pics on everything. I don't have all that extra stuff. It's one thing for everything. Sean Q Pics. Just like I got one thing for everything. Sean Q Pics, man. And listen, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of CouchTalk Podcast. We have the couch. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
We came to y'all.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for allowing us in y'all domain. On the couch.
Yeah.
Hope to do some work with y'all. Begin to
Video on the couch.
Absolutely.
Now we're really on the couch.
Now we're really on the couch.
We always say that, but you know. Is the camera on? Okay, now listen. Bruh, you really,